Okay, number 70, or sorry, number 90. Divinity Original Sin. I have a feeling a lot of you are going to say that should be even higher. I would imagine many people would say that should be higher. Divinity's really gotten a lot of steam behind it the last couple of years. Yeah, that's the question, is 2 on the list. I don't like Divinity 1, but even I know it should be higher. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about that one. Alright, what beats Divinity Original Sin? Number 89, Dragon Age Inquisition. Wow. Given the fact that this is an IGN list, I thought Inquisition would be incredibly high. The critical acclaim of Inquisition is like insane. All the critics loved Inquisition. I only played a little bit of Inquisition. It was not really my thing, but I have heard so many times over so many years critics just go wild over Inquisition and call it like one of the greatest games ever made. So, kind of wild that it's that low. I wonder what other Dragon Ages are on this list, if Inquisition is at 89. Number 88, Darkest Dungeon. Okay, IGN. Okay. I give you big props for putting Darkest Dungeon on the list at all. That's honestly pretty dope. Because I love Darkest Dungeon, even though I hate it. I have a love-hate relationship with Darkest Dungeon. But, no, I think Darkest Dungeon belongs on a list of top 100. Because, it was not afraid to be what it wanted to be. It wanted to be a game that really felt like an old-style RPG where you truly had to master the game to beat it. And they did not... They didn't take any shortcuts. They didn't say, well, we want everyone to be able to play this game. Well, we need the casual market to like, no. They just... They wanted to make... They had a vision and they stuck to it. And visually and mechanically, that game is so freaking good. My only gripe with it is even for me, like, you will never hear me say this about any other video game ever, but that game is too punishing. It is so brutal. Like, I had to quit playing it. It made me so upset. That game is so frustratingly hard. And it kind of gets to the point where it's just like you have to know the meta to beat it. Like you have to use a strategy that wins. If you try to use a strategy that can't win, you will not win, you know? And that's like my only real gripe. But no, like I give the game so much credit for just being what it wanted to be. And it sounds so, I mean, like the dialogue is so good in that game. Oh my god. The intro to that game is maybe my favorite intro to any game I've ever played. So good. But yeah, that's like my only real gripe is that you get railroaded in the end. You have to pick certain classes if you're gonna have any chance to win. So that's really my only gripe. But I give it credit for being so difficult and not shortcutting to be easier. I still haven't played the sequel either. I wonder if the sequel's better at not railroading you.
And I was just getting started.
Number 87, Wise Book 1 and 2. It's pronounced Ease. Ease Book. 1990. This game came out on the TurboGrafx CD. And I've never played it. Actually, it's Ket Yees. Yeah, I've never played it, so I can't really say, but they have pretty high. I mean, they're saying here's the thing, okay? You take a game like that and you put it as the number, what was it, 89? 87. 87th best RPG of all time. That doesn't sound too insane. But let's remember they're putting this above Darkest Dungeon, Dragon Age Inquisition, and Divinity Original Sin. Is it better than Dragon Age Inquisition? Maybe. I've never played it, so maybe. Also, I think it's getting some bonus points because it's a collection of both games. I don't know if that's fair. You can't just say, well, it's a collection of 2 games, so it's better than Inquisition. Like, I'm sure there'll be a Dragon Age collection at some point. But anyways. Whatever, I'll give it a pass because I don't know enough about it. Number 86, Kingdom Hearts 2. Well, I give them a lot of credit for putting Kingdom Hearts 2 above Dragon Age Inquisition. That's pretty wild. Having said that, I'm not disagreeing. I think that Kingdom Hearts 2 did so much for action RPGs and did so much for like the current landscape of combining different series and stuff. I would even put Kingdom Hearts 2 higher, but that's a bit of a bias for me. But I think that Kingdom Hearts 2 did so much for so many things, and if you've played Kingdom Hearts 2, you understand, like, what they did with the story in 2 was so wild for the time, starting the game off where you don't play as the main character. So many of the little things they did, the whole organization and how they turned organization from just being villains into being, like, merch sellers just from their personalities alone. You know, it's hard to argue the cultural impact that Kingdom Hearts has had. You can go to Hot Topic and buy a Kingdom Hearts mug, you know, like, it's huge. I don't think a lot of people really admit how huge Kingdom Hearts is. But, yeah, I mean, you can't argue how big Kingdom Hearts is. If you... I mean, I went to a Scholastic book fair for my son, and there was a Kingdom Hearts book. Okay? Kingdom Hearts is quite big. Sora got to be the final Smash Bros. Character for a reason, yeah. So, I ain't complaining with that space. I maybe even would put it higher, but I will say that better be the only Kingdom Hearts game. I will say that. If they try to argue any other Kingdom Hearts game is higher than 2, I'm gonna have a conniption. And try to argue that 2 Kingdom Hearts games are better than Dragon Dragon Age Inquisition. So, yeah, this better be the only one. As much as you know how much of a huge fan I am of Kingdom Hearts, but this better be the only one. Oh. Okay. Get ready for chat to explode. Number 85, Chrono Cross. I'm gonna destroy my whole career right now, okay? Get ready to unsubscribe. Chrono Cross is not better than Kingdom Hearts 2. Full stop. It's not. It just isn't. If we're talking the best RPGs of all time and what they did for the landscape of RPGs, no, not even close. Chrono Cross did nothing for the landscape of RPGs. It has an incredible soundtrack. It has 1 million characters. Other than that, it's just a PS1 RPG. Kingdom Hearts is still making games. Kingdom Hearts is still a worldwide phenomenon. Chrono Cross is a single game on PS1. There's no way. Not even close. Just by influence alone, Kingdom Hearts should be above Chrono Cross. I'm not the biggest fan of Chrono Cross, but I think for its music and for the fact that it had 7 million characters and for its really unique combat, I think it deserves to be on the list for sure. I would almost just say flip Chrono Cross and Kingdom Hearts 2 and I'd be happy. But the story of Chrono Cross is just, God, just, yikes. I just could not. It's so out there. I don't know. And I'm okay with stories being out there. I mean, I'm a Kingdom Hearts fan, but good lord. Chrono Cross is just really out there. Yeah, I mean... And imagine Chrono Cross without Chrono Trigger, too. Like... Without the hype behind Chrono Trigger... I don't know, man. But I know a lot of people really love Chrono Cross, and I think it definitely does deserve to be on the list. But above Divinity Original Sin, above Kingdom Hearts 2, nah. Nah. I will say, and it sounds like that's kind of what they're saying with their description, the fact that Chrono Cross was even able to follow up Chrono Trigger and not be a complete disaster is definitely a big deal. I give them a lot of credit for making a Chrono game, and it didn't just flop, because how do you follow Chrono Trigger, right? Alright, number 84, Dragon Warrior 7. 2001. I don't really know enough about Dragon Warrior, but I know it had quite the impact. Let me read what they said. Some people like short games. Get in, have fun, and move on. Dragon Warrior 7 is not for those people. This endlessly charming RPG is so packed with quests and breezy conversations you can play it for well over 100 hours without ever running out of things to do. Is that a good thing, though? Long doesn't mean good. But I hear what they're saying, especially for back then. Hardly ever hear about 7. 8 was massive and surely higher. Let's hope so. I don't know, man. I still think Kingdom Hearts 2 kind of got shafted. Not even the best in its own series, and Dragon Warrior 7 gets above it. Okay, here we go. Number 83. Original Final Fantasy. I feel like that's not a bad spot. Given how bad the original Final Fantasy actually is, the NES version. I think it's probably a good spot for it. Like, culturally, it was huge. It jump-started the biggest RPG company of all time. But at the same time, the NES version is really, really broken. Half the things that the game's supposed to do, it doesn't do. It tells the entire story during the ending credits. Yeah, there's just a lot of problems with it. So I feel like that's probably a good spot. I would even see it going lower, honestly. But again, it feels like cultural impact. See, this is my problem with this list. It feels like cultural impact is huge. You know? Like, they're putting games on here that were culturally impactful. Which is fine, but then why is Kingdom Hearts 2 so low? And why is Dragon Age Inquisition so low? You know? Just seems like they're not following their own rules here. If we're gonna put Final Fantasy that high up, even though it has no story, just because it jump-started the most influential RPG series of all time, fine. But then why is Kingdom Hearts 2 so low? Why is Divinity so low? It is not called the top 100 most influential. It is called the top 100 RPGs of all time. That is what the list is called. It is not called the most influential. It is just called top 100 RPGs. So for me, if you're making a list of top 100 RPGs, that means we're taking everything into effect. We're taking cultural impact, how the game plays today, you know, everything. Everything should be how good it was when it came out, how good it is now, how culturally impactful it was. Everything should be like together. If we're just saying top 100 of all time. And it feels like they're leaning a bit too far into cultural impact, but then again, we're still pretty low on the list, so. I don't think they put versions. I don't think they are talking about versions. Like, they're just talking about the game. Alright, number 82. Ultima Underworld. The Stygian Abyss. 1992. I don't know the difference between Ultima and Ultima Underworld. Oh, this is different entirely. This is a first-person RPG. Any Ultima Underworld fans in the chat? Well, see, Ultima Underworld, I think, is different from Ultima. Right? Or am I wrong here? Ultima was the old MMO. Ultima Underworld sounds like something different. Sounds like a first-person RPG. Is it the same series, though? So this was made, it's like a spin-off. I mean, I'll give it the benefit of the doubt. I never played it, but I've also never heard of it. And we put Final Fantasy below this, so... See, that's what I'm talking about. Like, it seems like they're putting culture really high up on the list, but then they put this above Final Fantasy? I mean, it does have the Ultima name, but I had never heard of this spin-off till just now. But that might just be a gap in my history, you know, my knowledge. Maybe everyone else has heard of it and played it. Number 81, EVE Online. Talk about cultural impact. I feel like that sounds about right, to be honest. Monetary impact, maybe. EVE Online is that game that you randomly hear on the news because someone, like, lost $1 bajillion playing it or something, or someone's ship got blown up and everyone's screaming about it. Yeah, you know, I wonder how much longer, how much older we're gonna get before, like, these old RPGs are kind of just forgotten. Like, in 10 years, if IGN makes another top 100 RPGs list, are they really gonna include games like this, or is it ever gonna get to the point where they're so old that just no one remembers them or cares anymore? They're just gonna be in a textbook somewhere. Because, like, the games of our childhood are being remade and stuff now, but some of this other stuff, like, EVE Online is not an example of this. EVE Online still exists, but, you know, some of these other games, it's like, we've probably seen the last time they're ever going to be, like, remastered and released, you know. I think at this point, they're going to be lost to time moving forward. We'll still remember them and know about them, but people aren't going to be putting them on their lists. Just interesting to think. As the game industry gets older and older, things are going to change. Number 80, Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga, 2003. Great game, but above all the games we've talked about so far, like, the 90s were stacked, man. Like, we gotta kind of only be putting on massive games at this point, given that Dragon Age, Divinity, Final Fantasy, Kingdom Hearts 2 were all in the 90s, like Chrono Cross, even. Superstar Saga is. Superstar Saga is basically Super Mario RPG, but handheld. It started a whole series of handheld Mario RPGs. And I've always heard that Superstar Saga was the best of the handhelds. Not as good as Super Mario RPG, but the best of the handhelds. Which means that Super Mario RPG is going to be higher than this, which I expected it to be. You don't think so? Do you think Super Mario RPG isn't going to be on this list? Or were you saying you disagree with it being the best handheld? I did hear that Bowser's Inside Story was good. I don't know when this list was made, but maybe Nintendo paid them to put RPG really high because of the remake coming out. Definitely a possibility. Alright, number 79. Star Ocean: The Second Story. Now, this one starts off with, though it doesn't get talked about as much as other RPGs from the early PlayStation era, Star Ocean: The Second Story isn't one to miss. So we're admitting that no one talks about it, but we put it above Final Fantasy. I don't know, though. I have heard that Second Story in particular is very, very good. And everyone here is saying higher, so I will submit to your judgment because I have not played Second Story. The only Star Ocean I played is Till the End of Time, and I still need to go back and finish Till the End of Time. Star Ocean 2 wasn't given a US release, which is why no one played it, huh? Is it possible to finish? I hope so. It's on Trophy Quest. Alright, good pick, good pick. We'll give them that one. Number 78, Illusion of Gaia, 1994. Any Illusion of Gaia fans? I was gonna say possibly even higher. Heard many raving reviews of Illusion of Gaia. And yeah, it's really unique. I don't know, I feel like uniqueness should play a really big role, honestly. Because that's the thing with RPGs, they tend to get very monotonous. Like, so many RPGs are just a copy of something that's already been done. So whenever an RPG tries something new, I always give it a lot of credit. That's like the hardest thing to do, is to make an RPG that does something unique, you know? Right. It can't just be different to be different, though. It's got to be different in a way that's fun and makes you want to play it. And hey, if we're going to weigh uniqueness really high, then I can kind of see why Chrono Cross was so high. Because Chrono Cross was a very unique game. Having said that, so was Kingdom Hearts 2. Number 77, Valkyria Chronicles. I'm interested to hear what you guys have to say about this. Because all I ever hear about Valkyria Chronicles is that it's underrated. That's all I ever hear. So I almost feel like it belongs to be that high. But I don't know. How's it going, Astro? Yeah, it's a tactical RPG, I know that. I have it. It's sitting... No, it's not. Somebody donated it. I think it's on our list. It's Advance Wars, but anime. Dude, I would be pretty happy if Dot Hack was on the list, although it better be on here soon. Because I don't think it deserves to be, like, top 50. But it would be cool to see Dot Hack on this list. I think, like, somewhere around where we are right now, I would love to see Dot Hack. Number 76, Icewind Dale 2.
And I was just getting started.
Bro, I used to play Icewind Dale 2 all the time. It was my favorite game to play with the boys. We'd come home from class, boot up our Windows 95 dinosaurs, play some Icewind Dale 2. In unrelated news, what the heck is Icewind Dale 2? Wait, when did it release? 2002. Okay, a little later. Well, the picture they took of it is not doing it much justice. I'll say that much. Let me read what they said. Compared to other games in its genealogy, like Baldur's Gate and Planescape Torment, Icewind Dale 2 is much more focused on action, so while it mostly ditches side quests and puzzles that were common in its predecessors, it zeroes in on deep character creation tools and tons of combat variety. I mean, that sounds cool, but 76th best RPG of all time? Did someone making this list just really like Icewind Dale 2? Because I don't know, man. I won't judge too much. I never played it, but like I said, it feels like some of these, they're like, oh, well, culturally this game mattered, and then they pick a game that no one knows. It's like, well, then what? Does culture matter or not? Is this the top 100 hidden gems list, or is this the top 100 most influential list, or what? But I did say everything, it should take everything into account. So maybe culturally it did nothing, but it's just a really, really, really good game. And I can't say if it is or not because I haven't played it. So I give them the benefit of the doubt. Maybe it really is just really, really good. Oh, wow. Okay. 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 Now we're getting spicy. Number 75, The Legend of Dragoon. I'm not gonna lie, I kinda like that spot. Part of me wants to put it higher and part of me wants to put it lower. So I feel like maybe it's in the perfect spot. Dude, I don't know, man. I do agree. I do agree that it's extremely strange that Kingdom Hearts 2 and Dragon Age Inquisition are so low. Just given what I know about IGN.
For the next fight.
It's kind of wild. But we can't base every game on the fact that it's above those two games, okay? We gotta look at it as its own thing. How's it going, Keisler? And I think Legend of Dragoon as the 75th best RPG of all time, depending on what's above it. I could see that argument. I want to see the 74 games that are better than Legend of Dragoon, but I think that that's probably a fair spot. Because I do have gripes with Legend of Dragoon, but I think it was the pinnacle of PS1 RPGs that didn't have Final Fantasy in the name. So... Also, thank you IGN for putting it above Chrono Cross. For the love of God. I could have easily seen them put it below Chrono Cross because Chrono Cross has Chrono in the name. So I'm glad they were willing to be like, Legend of Dragoon is a better game than Chrono Cross. Even though Chrono Cross has Chrono in the name, and everyone loves it, it's definitely a better game. I'm glad they did that. Dude, I will... I don't even know what I'll do. I can't think of a stupid thing I'll do. I will do something stupid if Legend of Legaia is on this list at all. Just absolutely no shot. There's no shot.
As if there was any doubt.
I'll go fight Niochu right now if Legaia is on this list. Alright. Number 74, Disgaea Hour of Darkness. Is that the first Disgaea's original subtitle? I've only ever seen it as Disgaea. And my ear is like killing me today. I've only ever heard it as Disgaea 1 because that's what the remaster is called. Is Hour of Darkness the first game? Right? Yeah. I feel like given how big of a series it became, it's not a bad spot for it. Is there any reason to increase the roll level? You guys can tell me. Go ahead. Backseat me. Is there any reason to level up roll level? I'm genuinely curious. Because I feel like it doesn't do anything, but maybe there's some kind of secret thing that it does.
Roll my dice.
There is. Do it for the fans. Okay. In that case, I should try to max some of these. Ah, okay. It's good to know. Would be cool if the game, like, told us that. Alright, what's next? Number 73, The Witcher 2. Assassins of Kings. Wait, why does it say the first Witcher game? The Witcher 2 was the first Witcher game? It says the first Witcher game, based on Polish author Andrzej Sapkowski's novels, was great in its own right, but the sequel, so that's okay. Never mind. I don't know. I haven't really heard much about Witcher 2, but I think that's because Witcher 3 just took over the world. I have heard that the whole series is good, though. Now, is Witcher 2 actually better than Legend of Dragoon and Final Fantasy and Kingdom Hearts 2? I feel like that's just because it has Witcher in the name and they're trying to say it's better than it is, but I don't know enough about Witcher, so I'll shut my mouth. Dude, they really should not have put Kingdom Hearts 2 so low. I can't get over it. I'm going to be talking about the entire list. That's such a huge disappointment that they put Kingdom Hearts. And it's not just because I'm a Kingdom Hearts fan. It's because the cultural impact of Kingdom Hearts is insane. There's like literally no way. Anyways. Sorry. Stop bringing up Kingdom Hearts. 72. Neverwinter Nights 2. 2006. I have heard many good things about Neverwinter Nights. And I don't think I can argue that. I want to say I tried it once, but I definitely don't know. Definitely did not play enough of it. I think Neverwinter Nights is it's action. I know that. At least I'm pretty sure it's action. They didn't really say anything in the description here. It's a good game, okay? Put it that way. Number 71, Jade Empire, 2005. I know nothing of Jade Empire. I'm going to stay out of this conversation. Definitely an interesting pick. I will step out and say you know, whatever. I have to sneeze. There it is. Let's a little better. Snow casually has 19k HP. Dude, they all have more HP than the girl squad. Dang it, girl squad? Or like glass squad. Ooh. Interesting. Number 70, Fire Emblem Awakening. 2013. I think I need to know what other Fire Emblem games are on this list. I swear if they put 3 houses on this list. Please, please don't put 3 houses on this list. Yeah, I don't know. It'd be interesting to hear a Fire Emblem fan's take, but I feel like it's probably an alright spot for it. I think it could go a little lower, but I'm not arguing this spot. I wouldn't argue it at 70. I also wouldn't argue it at 80, to be honest. Oh, thank God. Number 69. Finally, I've been waiting the entire list for this. We finally got it. Odin Sphere, Leftheth Sphere. My favorite RPG of all time. I used to play this right after playing Kingdom Hearts 2 all the time. I feel like they were just memeing and they put Odin Sphere on here as 69 because of the women. I don't know. Really though, like above everything we've said so far though, I don't know about that. I don't know enough about it to say for sure, but I will sus on that one. Slightly sus on that one. If you're telling me it belongs on the top 100, I say fair, but 69? Almost halfway up the list? Oh my, alright. Brace yourself, ladies and gentlemen. This might be a good time to go get some refreshments. Go to the bathroom, you know. Get yourself a cup of coffee, whatever it is you need to do. Now might be a good time. Number 68 is Undertale. That's... I mean, how do you even place Undertale? Because if you split half the room's going to say it belongs in the top 20, and half the room's going to say it doesn't belong on the list. So it's like, how do you even place it? If you're IGN, you place it in the middle and hope people don't get mad, and that's exactly what they did. So if I were IGN, I would have put it at 50. Like, literally right in the middle. Like, please don't get mad at us. Just put it in the middle. At the risk of my entire career, I would say that Undertale belongs way higher. Even just for the cultural zeitgeist. I mean, game was absolutely massive. And ushered in a revolution of indie games pushing the boundaries and doing things that other games couldn't. I think it was important not only for RPGs, but video games in general. It deserves to definitely be higher, even if you don't like it. My big thing with Undertale is its ability to make you care about the decisions you make was better in that game than games that tried way harder to do that. I've played games with super graphics and music done by an entire studio, and you know, they put all this, had these paid voice actors a ton of money, and the characters that they created in this world that they spent millions of dollars to create did not give me the amount of emotion as this one guy with his little doot 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 tunes, and like half the game is black backgrounds.
Didn't even break a sweat.
And yet, by the end of the game, I felt legitimately bad for the decisions I had made. There's just something truly special about that. You know, I've played, like I said, I've played games that they try so hard to make you care about the decisions you're making, and at the end of the day, you're just like, eh, it's a video game. Who cares? But Undertale somehow bridged that gap of, like, it felt real. I felt genuinely bad. It really can't be understated, like, the emotion in that game. But I think just for the cultural zeitgeist of the game, it deserves to be higher. It did so much for the indie scene. So, having said that... having said that, I actually kind of want to read what they wrote. It sounds like they didn't really know... It's amazing what one person can accomplish. The Undertale and Undertale's proof. Toby Fox wrote and designed, developed, composed the music for, and released Undertale solo as only help from additional artists. And it took the gaming world by storm, largely thanks to its deceptively simple story and combat systems which work together to conceal great narrative depth. Undertale turns nearly every RPG trope in existence on its head while simultaneously feeling good as an RPG, a truly incredible feat. That's not a bad description, honestly. And yeah, like, how much credit do you give Undertale for being one guy's project, you know? Versus, like, Dragon Age. Like, do we give it more credit for being one guy's project? Or do we say, like, every project is just its final... Who cares about how it was made? Are we just looking at it as a final product, you know? There's certain rules that you have to put together when you come up with a list like this. Are we just looking at the games themselves, or are we looking at everything surrounding the game's creation and stuff? But anyways. Yes! Higher! Higher! I'm not even going to tell you the game. Just agree with me. Higher. Everyone just say higher, and we'll move on. Number 67 is Ni no Kuni. Wrath of the White Witch. Higher. Top 50, 100%. I'm glad it's here, though. But Ni no Kuni is like top 10 games for me. It is so good. But I'm happy it's here at least. This will be my last message. No, it's fair. I mean, the thing with Ni no Kuni also is that the combat system is not great. A lot of people dislike it. So, if you put Ni no Kuni lower, it's fair. But, man, Ni no Kuni, dude. Like, if you have never played Ni no Kuni, you have to, if you're a fan of RPGs and you want to make a list like this, you want to make a top RPGs list, before you make that list, you need to purchase yourself an original PS3, an original version of Ni no Kuni, and plop it in and get to the world map. And just look at how unbelievably incredible that game looks on an original PS3. It is mind-blowing. You play it on PS4, you play the remaster, and you just don't get it. Because you play it and you're like, wow, this looks so incredible. They did a really great job on this remaster. What you don't realize is the remaster barely changed it. The difference between the remaster and the original is so slight. But you don't when you play the remaster, you just think like, wow, this is a great remaster. If you play the original, you realize that's almost as good as it looked on original PS3. It's insane. It is unbelievable how incredible that game looked on original PS3. Not to mention it is a massive game that takes over 100 hours to do everything. It's wild. I mean, it's wild. It is one of the greatest games ever made in terms of the console it was on, the developers that made it. I mean, this was not Square Enix. Like, it's unbelievable. Like, I seriously do not know how Level 5 did it. The animation in that game, it's a Studio Ghibli film but also a 100-hour RPG in one game on a PS3, not even PS4. Like, it blows me away. It's insane. Like, technically, it's one of the greatest games ever made. Full stop. On a technical level, it is one of the greatest games ever made. Unfortunately, there are parts of it that aren't the best. So, yeah. Is it the best game ever made? No. But yeah, it's a marvel, man. It really is. It's a marvel. If it looks the same, why do I need a PS3 to get it? I guess if you pretended like your PS4 was a PS3. But like just to physically see it coming out of a PS3, yeah. It's like when you play the Steam version of Final Fantasy and you're like, okay, but then you play it on an original console and you like really get it. If you're able to pretend like your PS4 is a PS3, then yeah, sure. But yeah, there's something about seeing it come out of a PS3 and you're like, this was... People played this back when the PS3 was new. Like, well, not new, it was later in its life, but... You know what I mean? People could play a game at this quality before the PS4 existed. That's impossible.
Be ready for the next fight.
Alright. Number 66. Pool of Radiance. Again, it seems like they're just going with old game equals important. This is IGN's top 100 RPGs of all time. Because they're saying it's the first adaptation of Advanced Dungeons and Dragons. Which, like, okay, sure, but, like, it's not the 66th best RPG of all time just because it did the Dungeons and Dragons thing. Like, again, why is this so high but Kingdom Hearts is so low? Why is this so high but Inquisition is so low? Like, is this the top 100 most influential RPGs, or is this top 100 RPGs? Because it seems like you keep changing the rules here. If we're talking influential, Undertale is top 20. Like, I mean, come on. Forget if you hate the game. Like, it's top 20.
Be ready for the next fight.
Okay. Oh. Number 65, Dragon Quest VIII. So whoever said Dragon Quest VIII better be higher than 7. I think it was Venom. There it is. I probably agree. Yeah, I mean... Yeah. I think that makes sense. Even not being a Dragon Age guy, I think that makes sense. Dragon Age is still one of the biggest series, and this was the best one, according to most. So, give it its dues. Number 64, Lunar Eternal Blue. Better than Dragon Quest VIII. It must be really good. I don't know. It's on the Sega CD. So you're telling me a Sega CD RPG was better than Dragon Quest VIII? I'll take their word for it, I guess. I don't know. Progger says it's worth it. All right, I'll take your word for it. It does look pretty cool. The picture they showed, it looks pretty cool. I mean, I gotta say, for the time, it probably looked incredible, given it was on Sega CD. So it was competing with games that didn't even have cutscenes yet. Or, you know, full motion cutscenes with asterisks on either side. Okay, number 63, Fantasy Star Online, 2001. Wait, Fantasy Star Online was developed by Sonic Team? Excuse me? I didn't know that. I mean, Fantasy Star Online was truly massive. So I can't really argue that. I think it's probably a good spot for it. Ooh. Number 62, Breath of Fire 3, 98. I gotta say, I think that's a pretty good spot for it. Kind of depends on what's above it, but I definitely don't think it should be lower. I still don't know a lot about 3. I played more of 4, but I plan on playing them all at some point. Because I really loved 4. But I've heard so many people talk about Breath of Fire over the years. Yeah. I definitely get it. Okay. Number 61, Lunar Silver Star Story. Do we need to play Lunar? Is that what I'm getting out of this? We need to stop what we're doing and do Lunar Marathon? Yes? Alright. I will hold my judgment until we do Lunarathon. Apparently some of the best RPGs ever made. I just have never really heard it. Like, whenever we talk about best RPGs, no one ever brings up Lunar. But I believe it. Maybe just because it's so niche, like, because of what it was on. No, I don't own it. If I'm gonna play Lunar, I definitely want to play the originals, because I feel like that's part of what made them great, was them being ahead of their time.
And I was just getting started.
I'll do the research, and maybe we'll play it at some point. Number 60, Shining Force 2, 94. I wonder how many people would put Shining Force 2 above Breath of Fire. I feel like it's pretty good. I feel like they should definitely be next to each other. But I wonder how many people would put Shining Force above Breath of Fire. I mean, they put Shining Force 2 above Breath of Fire 2, but probably below, or 3, but probably below 4, because 4 has not come up yet, so I feel like that's probably fair. Number 59, Golden Sun. Alright, IGN, I feel you. I think that's pretty good spot. I think even Golden Sun could be higher, honestly. But again, depends on what's coming up. Golden Sun was very... I mean, I don't know if revolutionary is the right word, but just the... It got so many people that were into Game Boy, because Game Boy... Here's the thing with Golden Sun, is that the Game Boy got a lot of people that weren't into video games into video games. And then Golden Sun was able to take that and get a lot of people that weren't into video games into RPGs. And I feel like it needs to be respected for that. I do wonder, do most people say that Golden Sun 1 is better than 2? Or do you think 2 is going to be on this list? Because I've heard a lot about 2, so... I guess we'll see. They may have just said Golden Sun, since 2 takes place right after 1. Like, even you move your save file, right? So they may have just said Golden Sun and left it at that. Alright, everyone's going to be happy about this one. 58, Lufia 2. 96. Whenever we say best RPGs of all time, Lufia always comes up. Every time. So, I'm not surprised that it's that high. Not surprised it's top 50. Maybe even, should maybe even be higher. I believe it's on our Let's Play list. Lufia 2.